Sometimes that's hard to watch. It really is. Welcome to a community chat on Breaking the Silence. Got some nice people here that I love a great deal and love spending time with. And don't get to
Hello,
see
hello.
quite often enough. And there's beautiful Mary.
Let's bring everyone on. Let me
Yes, please.
see. There's Jim
Hey,
and
Jim.
Judy
Hey, Judy.
and Dennis
Hey,
and
Dennis.
Jeff.
Jeff. Hey,
Hey,
Jeff. Welcome back. Here we are. So, what's new, folks? Boy, look at that. Okay, I'll tell you what's new here, and that is I'm working on Dr. Irena Scott's film about her two experiences she had. One with, both with her sister. One when she was a little child with her sister, and the other one, 1973, when she was on a trip up the very road that Barney and Betty Hill were traveling up, and saw basically exactly the same craft, which I had to replicate, and it's amazing. It's a really, she's so neat, and the show's coming along well. I'm just really taking my time with it to get it as best I can. So, and then I got a ton of shows to edit after that. That are conversations with people from MUFON, all people who have a very vested interest in us, not the nuts and bolts, which is a nice change. So that's coming. And then
yeah,
somewhere down the road, Deborah Cobble. I'm going to get to her. Got to edit through 2 hours and a half of footage with her and then put visuals to it. And then someday we're going to do Jeff.
yeah, yes. Looking forward to it. We will do it.
Yes.
I'm actually nervous to get into your country now with everything that's going on.
Yeah, you might have to dig a tunnel and
Transport. Maybe I could take a UFO. Yeah.
yeah, this place is a real shithole. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, we're all upset about what's going on, but this is a place to get away from that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Like
let's
that.
talk about happy bunnies.
Steve, you mentioned MUFON, and I just did a presentation for MUFON 2 weeks ago, and then we had someone else here doing a presentation for MUFON, right? The woman who worked with Bud Hopkins. Yeah. So
Right.
they are becoming more open to experiencers, it sounds like.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dustin Eskelson from the Utah State Director, and he's incredible. He is so much on our side. It's and that one's coming up too in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
and George is next.
These are all people. Yeah, these are all people that are with the ERT division of MUFON, and when you hear them talk, you think, oh, okay, here we go. All right, they're starting to accept us, but they're still going to be stuffy, right? And a little bit nut and bolty. No,
Nope.
these guys are talking about hybrids and people working with them and everything else, and it's like, finally,
Right.
if you don't have an open mind, you're not going to learn anything. So they know that.
Yeah,
So it's really great that you did that, Jeff.
Yeah, it was. I was really excited for it, and it was through Lorian Fenton, and a person who interviewed me before, and then she has a MUFON chapter that she's worked with, and it was closed door, but it was to them, and it was well received. Yeah, it was really good, and I was really happy to do it for them.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. Jim?
How are you feeling, Jim?
I'm upright. Very
Last
happy.
I checked, all of us are, so that's good.
Yeah. No, it's slowly healing, but I'm doing fine. I've fractured my pelvis in 4 places.
Ooh, ow.
And that was there's a lot of vows. But it's healing and it's sitting in the right place. And so as long as I don't do something stupid, I'll be okay.
Yeah, don't do anything stupid. I insist.
So I figured a smart thing to be to come on here.
No, it's good for the soul.
Yeah.
It is. It's good for my soul. It's good for your soul. It's good for everybody's soul. So we can talk about this stuff.
Yeah, so I've sort of had a month of missing time in a different way.
Oh yeah,
In a different
doctor
way.
style.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this setup is up a stair, and I couldn't do it until a couple days ago, and so did it with no pain, and so I'm happy about that.
Yes,
No pain is always a good thing.
yes, it
Believe
is.
me,
Yeah, I do.
believe me, yeah, it certainly is. But I got my hot rod behind me here. I see it in the
Yeah.
camera, but
You're hot, Rod.
I'm not breaking any speed records. But
Well, put some wings on it.
yeah,
You can fly up here and see us.
yeah, they'd be. Well, travel's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff, I'm curious to get your impressions about MUFON's changes.
Mm. Well, what's interesting too is I have a close buddy, experiencer friend of mine who we've had shared experiences. So I keep talking about how I've got this UAP thing that flies around my home, and now my wife is able to see it. And we had shared experiences, me and an experiencer friend over texting, and the entity was interacting with us. It's so crazy to talk about, but that's bizarre. He's an experiencer friend, became a MUFON investigator, and now is being asked to be a state lead. And he's full-blown experiencer turned, MUFON investigator. And it's clear to me that I don't know what the changes. I think that, to just speak, frankly, I guess I feel like it's a bit old school, nuts and bolts, just kind of moving out, and the new blood is just experiencer related, and the new blood is focused on experiencer content. And that seems to be, at least that was my impression. And everyone that I interacted with fully enjoyed the presentation and I thought I'd get challenged. I actually thought it would be aggressive against me, and it wasn't at all. And though I do cover my bases quite a bit with lie detector tests and videos and stuff, but I was accepted there, and they took it all very seriously. And it was, especially my content is quite, brain blowing. So they accepted it, and it was fantastic. And really happy for it.
I talked to Deb Cobble about her appearance on it, and she said echoes what you're saying.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
It's nuts and bolts are kind of getting everybody nowhere. In the understanding of the why and who and the consciousness. And so it's natural that I would think that a lot of people are getting bored and they want to really find out, maybe we should listen to these crazy people. Maybe they actually know something, and they are. And it's and what's amazing is what both Jim and Jeff said, is that they're being very accepting of it, because why would we lie about it? And the thing, it'd be one thing if one of us claimed that we had an interaction with these beings and it was a deal we made before birth and all of that stuff. But there's thousands of us that know that, and we only recently just found out each other had the same memories and the same agreements and the same experiences. So that's a pretty hard stretch to think that all of us are lying and all of us work together and it's created this great big conspiracy. So and they know that, because the people in MUFON are hopefully intelligent people. A lot of them have science background, and they understand that there's really something truly remarkable going on here.
I also think that experiencers can decipher contact better than non-experiencers. And I think that that's part of it. I think, look, I remember I read David Jacobs' book, and he's interpreting contact. And interpretation, he openly admits in the book that he was told not to do that because you can't make sense of this. It makes no sense what the aliens are doing. And of course, as a contactee, I can analyze the contact and make sense of it totally. And it's strange how that's kind of how it went. It's not strange. It's largely because the aliens weren't interacting with scientists, right? So they're interacting with the nonchalant human. And but
that's me.
Well, all of us, right? Yeah, we're all just people, and we're the average. We're the Joe Blow of the society, right? And Joe Blow and Jane Blow. But yeah, so
Stop and be friendly.
yeah, yeah. I think experiencers can interpret this content because we've touched it. Yeah.
So go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
MUFON has more people like us involved. So I think it was Enrico Fermi that said that science advances one funeral at a time.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So
Good that that's happening.
yeah.
Sorry.
So I know, Judy, you read about what happened to me when I was starting to write something, and then I felt like I had been taken over, and I was directed to write this rather harsh thing from the visitors. Has anybody else experienced anything like that recently? Because the message was very harsh. In short, humanity has forfeited their right to be in control of their own planet anymore, because we've done such a terrible job not being the stewards of it, instead being the harbingers of death. It's something along that lines. And I wrote it down because I had no choice. And
That's good.
They seemed to indicate that they had had enough, and that look out, whatever that means, to anyone else.
The back of my book,
Dan.
it's not to dominate you. This was them. So the back of my book, the line, it's not to dominate you. It's to change the societal structures that benefit you. That was this. That's exactly what you're talking about. And I was making the back of the book, and they were like, boom, 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 telepathic. And it was like, do this, write this down now. And I was like, oh. And it wasn't a message from a contact event. It was a telepathic thing that happened to me as I was building the book. And they were the ones, now put that on the back. And I was like, okay. And when you read the book, the elder isn't saying that in any contact events. It's this. It's exactly what you just said. Yeah. Did
you have a strong emotional reaction to that? I did. I was like, I was welling up, and it was the whole moment was so odd. And, I started thinking about how I used to be skeptical of people who channeled and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, now you're in the hot seat. How does it feel? It's like, I'm still weirded out by it. So.
The one thing that really hit me was in your book was further on in the book where you got the scratch on the back, and you got reprimanded about exploitation.
Right. Yeah.
And that really, that just really sunk into me, because there's so much of that going on now. And, sometimes you don't think that you might be being exploitive, but it still happens.
Right. Yeah. And your
so
ego. Our ego
that really touched me, that part.
Right.
Mary, can you describe that part that you're talking about? I've been too busy with moving stuff. I haven't finished this book yet.
I think Jeff should describe that since he wrote it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're pointing to a particular part, so.
Yeah. I'll briefly. It's the last contact event. It's the 26th, and it was actually funny, Steve. You mentioned the channel thing, because I was channeling. I didn't know what I was doing. I was grabbing something that was in me, and I was pulling out the Mystic Book, this download they gave me years ago. And I hadn't put any of these pictures together, but I was feeling something and drawing it out. And I was trying to use it for. I was building corporate workshops at the time, and I was trying to think about ways to make new programs and new things. And they didn't like me doing it, actually. So there was a contact event that night. And they pulled me from the bed, and the result was you can't use it for this, and you have to know where it's coming from, and you can't. I can't recall the words directly, but it was a scolding for using their stuff and not giving credit, but not calling it for its proper purpose, and to do so is gonna cause backlash. So you can't do that, and so I got scolded for it. And it's a great interpretation that it's really the human mind is always, how can I benefit from this myself? and they're like, it has to be for the grander purpose of what we're all doing, or what this content or what the entities are doing here. And that was the scolding. So
yeah, we can be kind of like
that was my understanding.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's us. We're the Ferengi.
Rules of acquisition.
That's right. You got to talk through your teeth too.
Steve, you I'm really touched too, because that message you had. So there's two things you said, and I think the emotions I had about like the specific content, I had those emotions getting the memories out, and you want this to be uplifting, and it's really a very it's a very hard space to, especially when we're spiritual by nature, to talk like that, or to have messages like that, or to make an end goal that's what the message is. And I think this is good for us because I think it's the reality. I think it's the truth. So I kind of moved through these emotions, and I'm able to communicate about what this might look like in the future, and I get information like that. But yeah, I've been touched by that. And then the other is the channeling you said. And it's funny because I always distinguish between that. I always say I get telepathy, and I don't talk about channeling. I always say it's telepathy. I got a message and telepathy, and that's it. And I don't like channeling. For me is like an hour of pulling something out and then turning your persona into something else. And so I always call it just telepathy. Yeah, it's very interesting. I make that distinction.
Well, it was a little emasculating because we tend to be proud creatures, as much as we try to beat down our egos, and I know I do, is we still have this sense of pride and independence. And then when something kind of takes you over and drives you to do something, I don't know. I'm thinking back to when it was happening. Could I have resisted it? Maybe, probably, maybe, but I didn't. But I didn't. It wasn't my idea, although I agreed with what they were saying. And I mean, I know that, and I keep getting told this: no matter what, the Earth is going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's the humans you have to worry about, because it just is not going to be tolerated. What's happening to this planet, the number of species that are dying every day over our lust for wealth and greed is just it's insane, and it's not going to be tolerated. I don't know how that's going to be affected, but get your popcorn.
Yeah. Right.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I know. But you hear this and you hear this and you hear this, but it seems different to me now. And then you have to think about timelines and when these things are supposed to happen. And when you consider how we view time and then how they view time, is difficult to define what they mean when they say something's going to happen soon. It's soon in 1,000 years, or is it soon in 10 minutes? I mean, there's no way to know for sure, which leaves you wide open to the skeptics and the critics to say, well, you guys are always saying this stuff is going to happen and it never does. And then one day it does.
And we get to say we told you so.
No, I'm going to do the Fraser. Fraser Crane. What do you think of me now?
Yeah.
We still don't understand fully the fourth dimension. It's just, it's not linear at all.
True.
Yeah, and my research and trying to understand like the visuals they send is that there's an element that took me my whole life to get to, or us as a society, and that there's ways in which they can communicate that are the closest thing is qubits, quantum entangled statements, but they're in their language. So you can actually have like a sentence that the end of it is indeterminate. It could go this way, it could go that way, but they've written it down like it's in the past, like this has already happened. But it's every single possibility has been written. And so sometimes if they tell you something's going to happen here or there or when, it's more a matter of possibilities and how many of those can you hold in your head, and then you can kind of move the conversation forward.
It's one hell of a long movie, a lot of film strip, 35 millimeter that you can dance around in. Yeah. Yeah, time is literally the fourth dimension, in the sense of how we can move through it.
But things are
even-
getting more urgent. They
Oh,
are
yeah.
what they're saying. There is an urgency to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's on the 10th in my 10th contact event. I literally see the planet. It burns. It burns, and then the whole planet gets consumed in fire. And it's exactly what's happening right now. Is heat is increasing and fire is increasing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My own country is like going up in flames everywhere. It's like,
Awful.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
awful, and it's really fortuitous that that's exactly what I was shown, was a planet going up in flames. But of course they took over, and they make it better, and they're all happy, and everyone, they save nature was the whole premise of it. So I feel, yeah, I think I feel like Steve, like the planet will be okay. Yeah, the nature will get saved, and
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, it's been hit by an asteroid and it wiped out almost all the life on it, and it
Right.
recovered from that. And then we had the Younger Dryas, and we've had
yeah.
super volcanoes go off, and it always springs back.
Never mind that, humans have actually survived a lot of
Yeah,
this too, right?
sure.
Like,
Mhm.
it's not to say that there will be something where all humans will be dead, or I don't believe that either. I do, I think a lot, many, but yeah, there'll be a change. Let's just say that something will change, and it'll be them involved. Let's say that.
What
We
makes
made
me
it
think of,
Go.
go ahead, Jen.
We made it through disco, so
Well, that was the point of my next comment. We were watching One World Radio, and they had a big concert in overseas called Tomorrowland, and this was all 20 and 30-year-olds, and the music was it sounded very much what I thought of in my mind out of Susie Hanson's book when the ETs were dancing. And you just kind of wonder how many of them are seeds, are star seeds, because they certainly have a different life than we have, and a different viewpoint.
Yeah, they did everything but shed their skins and have their spirit and souls mingling together in all the light show and the music. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Boris Brisha from Germany, but it's that type of music. It's kind of like DJ music. In fact, they call him and the rest of them DJs, but they're really people who have a good sense of music, and they use electronic recordings and stuff to put together this amazing feeling of this music, and it permeates thousands of people,
And you can
it's
just feel the
incredible light
love.
shows, and it is very similar to what Susie wrote about, and I told her about that just recently in chapter 25, as she refers to it, where the Greys shed their bodies and floated up and became colored light, and there was this music going, and they were dancing and moving together. That really grabbed me because I have a real sense of that. But I think Mary's right. It almost seems like humans, on some level, instinctually are emulating that behavior as best they can with the technology and the conscious technology that we have, because eventually when our conscious technology reaches a point, we will be able to leave our bodies and do that and re-enter. Won't that be something?
Mhm.
I'm all for that.
John Mack had a few instances of the same thing phenomena in his couple of his books. So it's it's not a sole source. It's
Really, I think I only read his first book, and it was a long time ago, and I don't remember that. And but it's nice to know it's in there.
the second book, I think. Yeah.
Well, like raves, people all get together, and during the music, they're one. They're in unity together. They're moving and dancing and loving each other. It's amazing to watch the videos of those raves and those concerts where they have this type of techno. It's not techno rock. It's more like techno beat music. To see what happens to that audience, they get in almost a trance state, and it's so similar to what was in Susie's book. And so Dr. Mack talked about this too. I wonder how many others have know about this in their research, because evidently, according to Susie, Jeff, she said that is their form of recreation.
Right. Is this happening in her? She calls them the cosmic room or something. I think it's supposed, like, we connect on the white room, and
Right.
and where she saw them turn into orbs, and that's what I experienced in my first contact event.
Right, you did,
Yeah.
and you watched your body dissolve away, and like it broke up like on a molecular level. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I have to
It's a
recreate
rave.
that. I
It's
have to animate that and bring that to life, and that's probably the greatest challenge I've ever had.
Yeah.
She's all excited about it. She just can't wait to see what I do. I can
I
see
had that
it.
experience too.
You what?
Pardon?
I had that experience too of dissolving, seeing myself dissolve into millions of grains of golden light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like my
sounds
trip,
lovely.
like my trip to Ojai. I had that experience, and I decided to just leave and go see what I could see. And I remember, and I took the freeway route, which is, I didn't have to do that. Why I did that, I have no idea, because I could have just gone straight across. Why do we, it's
It's
kind of
familiar.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
maybe.
you talking about the sound bath?
No, I'm talking about that one time I woke up and I recalled having turned like into an orb,
Oh yes, yes, yes. I remember.
but
Yeah.
it was
Oh, I was
light.
up the hill from you. You could have just gone straight up.
I know. It's funny.
Oh, astral traveling in the diamond lane. Very good.
Well, freeways are a good way to navigate. So
Yeah, you know where you're going.
a lot of pilots.
Well,
do it.
I did have some fear that I wouldn't find my way back.
Oh,
So maybe that's why I did it.
the minute you think home, you're there. But that sound bath was interesting too, because it was at the Doc's house, and these people did a sound bath, and man, they had some amazing instruments, a lot of Tibetan bowls and didgeridoo and chimes, and this big bass drum that just gave this low frequency, and we're laying back on the mats, yoga mats, and our eyes closed, and I may have talked about this before, but I remember I felt like I was coming out of my body, and I just let it happen, and I slightly parted my eyes, and I'm looking at the ceiling, and there were marks on the ceiling, and so I said, when this is over, I'm going to remember to look for those marks. And sure enough, they were there, but the feeling was amazing. This is the first time I wasn't really frightened by it, because I didn't expect it really. But the first time I ever felt myself depart from my body, it scared the hell out of me, but I was only 26 years old. Now I'm 73, and I've been, beaten up pretty good and around the block a few times. And it's like, oh, there's the ceiling. How interesting. This
Right.
feels great. I didn't feel any pain of any kind. It was amazing that the sound bath did that, but I think it really put me in a state where I could do it. And I need to revisit that.
Yeah, music is transcendent. It's the vibration, it's everything about
Yeah.
the
And
frequency.
we all
The
vibrate.
frequencies.
Yeah.
We're all vibrators. That sounds bad.
I'm not going there.
I don't know if I would say that.
All of a sudden, it's rated R. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
It's good to laugh.
dear.
It's good to
Yeah.
laugh. It's good to laugh. It really
Laughter
is.
is good.
Because I don't know about you guys, but the visits kind of get kind of serious. But they vary. That one time, the not recently when I discovered the covers were rolled up and all that. That what I remember from that night is her standing over me and saying, "Nothing to worry about. Routine maintenance. Go back to sleep." I mean, come on, really? Yeah, routine maintenance. So it's like, could you care to elaborate on that? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I get
So,
the checking in. What are you checking? What? That's it? You're gone? All right.
we're your mechanics. We do tune-ups, you know.
Mhm.
So, but it's something like that. I mean, um, you get the cerebral stuff and then you get the physical stuff. It seems like it's two different groups within the same group doing two different tasks, and I'm sure that's what it is. So,
You're
oh,
still under warranty.
yeah, well,
Still under warranty.
They want
That's
us to
good.
stick
not
around.
for very much longer, but I'm working on it.
Still under warranty. It's good.
That's
So,
funny.
wow. So what else? We've been watching some cool stuff. Um, Final Destination. Has anybody ever watched that?
Is this the one where they predict their demise and then it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. You know,
It's rather graphic.
some people can handle stuff like that, but it's very good filmmaking. And then the other thing we've been watching, of course, is Wednesday, and Tim Burton has been let out of the bridge, and he's gone crazy. And the show's even better. And they recast the woman that's playing Morticia, and she's incredible. She's just incredible. She can peel the paint off stuff. I mean, she's just amazing. So, and we've been watching, various YouTube things, trying to keep up with what's going on out there, but none of it's very appealing. Still, I think the most appealing that I've found is Chris Ramey with Area 52. He always does a great job. He's a very sincere human being, and he's not a jerk. Like some of these guys, I won't mention names. One of them was on Joe Rogan recently, looking not so well, and they're making lots of money, and they're under lots of stress, and they're not really serving anyone but themselves in what they're doing. And I don't think it's good for the people who have these experiences. And I'm noticing that those people are starting to be less and less obtainable by these sources, by these shock jocks, and they're either going back to the closet or they're contacting us. I had a couple more today. So that's a good thing.
Well, that's why I loved what Benno said in his and that poster he made, Experience Against
Yeah, I love
Exploitation.
that.
I mean, I just absolutely love that. And I love that you used it for
Yeah.
the Discord, Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a great image. Have you seen it, Jim?
No.
It's great. Do we have that? Where do I have it?
It's on your computer because you took it out for the.
Yeah, it is. I can find it. Well, you guys keep talking. I'll look for it.
It was in the newsletter, right? I think I saw it in the newsletter. Is that correct?
I think I put it there too. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And because it says everything. I mean, we're here to talk together and share, but when it gets back to what I was talking about with Jeff's book, when it becomes the wrong reasons to do it,
Yeah.
then it's it's just, in my opinion, wrong.
Yeah. I think I was explaining to someone that because I'm able to film them or like film her. Okay, first off, there's a whole level of sightings where she doesn't want me to film, and then occasionally I'm able to film. But when I get that film, I let them, either through intuition or else a message, tell me what to do with it. So I also don't, spread it all over the internet now. Like I got this cool film and it's all very reserved, and that's they're doing. They like to not have an ego rush to get excited to spill this all over the internet. And so, yeah, it's very, and I once was asking, why aren't you doing more? And she said, your ego. Like they're managing our egos in the process. Never mind
And
our own.
they need to be managed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're humans. That's the nature of us.
Yeah.
We're all okay. It doesn't matter. You meditate for as long as you do. You're gonna have an ego, and it has to be managed to some degree. And they have to you know, and it's so extraordinary what they are. So yeah, you have a bit of a push and pull in your own mind about how to handle this. So yeah, it's interesting how even that, and most people don't know, for as experiencers, this isn't about I'm so special, I have all this contact. They are also themselves making sure you don't feel special, whipping you when you making it hard and stuff if it's out of control. So yeah.
Yeah, in high
Well,
school, I had a video camera, and I took a video of Jerry at the window, and I'm like, "Can I play this back?" And he's like, "You can." And I go, "Okay." And so I watched it, and he's like, "Okay, give me the tape." I just handed it to him just for a split second, handed it back blank. And I'm like, "Oh, this is how it's going to be. If I need proof, I can ask for it, but it's not for me to share because that has nothing to do with the mission."
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the highest good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know what the heck that is.
And we don't know what it is.
Nope.
That's why we have to leave it up to higher sources.
Yeah. That was my whole deduction, is that this is the reason they would do that too, right? Like, so you have that story, Dennis, and then the person listening to you has to make an intuitive choice, right? Because there's no evidence. So then we're left up having to make choices about it. And everything is like that. Everything is, I've noticed, like, even my own contact or anyone listening to me, it's all choice based. And you have to make a choice to listen or to choose heart or not.
It's
everything was like that.
It's discernment. It has to do with frequency, because truth has its own frequency, and you can recognize it when you have that within you. You can discern the truth.
Right. Good call.
Yeah, I have this healing group that I do with some ladies on Wednesday. And I'm a Reiki practitioner, but this is more than Reiki, because there's a temple we meet in and a fountain. And when I first started, I would be meditating with the healing. You know, we have the person's name and where they are and all of that, and we're meditating, and we always doubt what we're seeing. I mean, because we're human. So you see something and okay. And afterwards we come in and we share what we saw. And it's a message for the person that's getting the healing. And there's this one gal that not everybody gets the same thing, but there's one of the ladies that 8 out of 10 times sees the same thing that I saw. And it's just, so we doubt, and it's hard not to be what they call a doubting Thomas. It's happening to you. You saw something, you experienced something, but the hardest thing is that self-doubt. And like they had like that movie that was called Nope. You don't want to believe.
I love that movie.
Or you can't. It's very hard to believe your own experiences, and I totally get it when I talk to people that are real quiet about all this, because you just want to say nope, that didn't happen.
But Mary, what I've noticed is that when I'm doubting myself like that and doubting my experience, they're uncomfortable with that, and they will make an effort because they're listening, or they know what you're thinking, and it's not like you can. There's no one around. I'm going to think this is all bullshit, right? No, they're going to hear you. And
always there.
Maybe it's the implants. Maybe it's because we're all connected. All of the above. But then the next thing will happen is that they will do something to you or with you to counter that. And they'll keep beating you with it and beating you with it. And the more you push back, the more they'll keep pushing. That's what I've noticed personally. Like, no, so Mary disappeared from the house one night. You couldn't find her anywhere. No, now she's back again. Look at that. Isn't that something? And making things disappear right in front of you and then reappear. And just, but isn't it amazing with things that dramatic? Um,
You still don't want to believe it.
Time goes by and you think to yourself, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Maybe
Exactly.
it was a dream. Maybe, did I really see the gray in the kitchen and, turn in from a butcher block to a gray and you go back and you look at it and you go, no, that really happened. But there's that thing that just, I guess it's indoctrination by this culture. I don't know.
I don't know.
Did any of you see Whitley's Dreamland this month or week? It was at Contact in the Desert. A woman captured a face, and it would happen to look like an author of this book, and he passed back in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was broken up in colors like red, green, blue
Yes.
on the background
Tony's-
of
what's
the
his
display
name?
screen.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? I actually bought his book, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't recall his name.
Crypto
but
something or other.
Crypto-terrestrial.
Yes, and I don't know that you didn't see that, you guys, just Dennis.
No.
Yeah, it's very interesting. She took a picture, and in one frame, this face was appearing, and it was like reds and greens, and then in the next frame, it was gone, and it looks just like the author of this book. And Whitley was taking that to mean that, and he knew, I guess he had met him, and he took that to mean that this book should be put out there. And so I'm reading the book, and it's very interesting. And he was definitely going after the idea of consciousness is the thing.
Well, it's everything.
Yeah. But I mean,
consciousness is the whole reason for all of this.
But he was writing this like 15 years ago before we were all talking about that. Now we kind of like are, yeah, right.
There are people back there that knew it too.
He was writing about it. The book is very interesting. Yeah.
Right.
But it was just funny that that image showed up. And so it got a buzz going about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he died very young. He was only 34.
Oh,
That is young.
Yeah.
I figured when I was in Hollywood working in the business, I'd probably die by that age. But I never did. It's really weird.
If you'd known you were going to live this long, you'd taken better care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a baseball player. I don't know his name, but
we haven't heard much from Whitley in quite a while. He's gone very dark on us.
Tony's, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gone very
Thank you,
dark
Flea
on
Market.
us.
Thank you, Flea.
So we haven't talked in a very long time. So, but the ball's in his court. So.
He's busy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I would know about what you're talking about because he would always be telling me what's going on. But then
He's gone dark on us.
Gone very dark on us, and we just let it be.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes it'd be that way.
Well, it's certainly easier. Just stay focused on what you're doing. Don't worry about what someone else is doing because you have your own mission.
Yeah, we all have our own mission.
You have your own mission within the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all have our little assignments and little jobs, and mine happens to be making movies and doing stuff like this. And the rest of us all have our various ways of communicating to the rest of humanity the fact that this is not crazy. This is actually happening, and you will know this one day. I won't say very soon because I don't know. They say that, but I do know one day humanity will know. And if we're all gone, they'll look back in the history of all this and know that we knew and that we were part of it. So
yeah,
and I'd rather be part of it than not.
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine being asleep and not knowing what's going on or even aware of the stars above my head at night. I have them to thank for that, I think.
Yeah.
So.
That's sort of why I painted the last painting I painted. I did the Matrix with the two hands and the red pill and the blue pill. Because some people just aren't awake.
Remember, Jeff, you were talking about the world being on fire. I don't know if I've shown you this one before, but I did this piece of art based on what they were showing me, and this was just part of what I was being shown that particular night. I saw nukes, I saw huge fires, and I saw this. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you can see the flooding and the fire in the sky and everything else. And when you're talking to, and of course, the little gray down there showing me, this is what's going to happen on your present path. So
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get back over here.
I'll
It's
put
so
it down.
crazy.
It's kind of depressing, so I'll put it down.
Thank you.
I like the handout. It's kind of the here you go,
Yeah.
or the like.
too.
This is
Yeah.
what you could end up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, they showed me worse. They showed me people in the streets that were beyond homeless, and they were so emaciated they looked like corpses. And one was holding this little baby, and the baby was dying, and they held it up to me, and I woke up just crying, and just it was horrible. And I remember the next support group, I at Yvonne's inspector in the 90s, I went there and I told everybody about it. And then Yvonne said, I want you to draw it. And I do have that drawing somewhere of the corpse-like looking people in the destroyed city in the same orange sky. So,
Yeah, well, it's going
was
on
intense.
now on the earth in
It
some
was intense.
places.
People that have power should be getting these messages because we can't seem to do anything about it. And
They know. Yeah, they know.
they don't care.
I think they're.
I don't think it's that they don't care, but there's a reason.
I
And
think
for
I
it.
feel pretty confident that they know and they can't save everybody, so they're not telling them. So they're saving themselves.
Yeah.
That makes
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
Facts.
And
So
then there's us. Then separately, there's all the contactees who were already who are like children or who are we're all bonded to these entities, and they're taking us, and then it's like, figure yourselves out, humans. And the government is like not telling the public because they can't
No,
save
because
them.
they're digging a hole, and they're
Yeah.
constantly tunneling underground, and it's to the point where people are coming out of their homes and going out into a field to play with their dog, and they hear this rumbling into the ground. And I know if you saw that one guy, he was recording the sound, and it sounds like a big mole. And then he dug down and a ways and could hear it even louder. And I've been hearing this all over the world, or all over the United States anyway. It would seem that we don't know for sure, but that that tunneling's going on, and I think they're planning to go underground where they think they're going to be safe.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is fill in the hole they went through, and they're done.
Yeah.
And I tell you something, I don't care if the world is coming to the end. I would not go crawl down in a hole in the ground to survive. I'd rather stay on the surface and kick back in the lounge chair and watch it all happen. And because I know when I die, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, because we don't die.
They don't. They don't know this, or they wouldn't.
We
be doing
do.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
So nani.
God.
I only say that. I only say what I said because my information was corroborated, and I know like internal sources that have the same information I do, and that's when so I don't want to go. We don't need to go too much more into it, but I'm convinced they 100% know exactly what's going on, and that's why they aren't talking about it. That's why they're trying to cover it up, and they're giving enough out so the population knows aliens are real when it's time, and then that's it. They're like, okay, here's the answer, humans. Now we're gonna hide, and then the aliens are the ones who are like exactly what you said, Steve. It's like the piss off, the pissed with humans, and not all of us, because we have been we're subject to our system, actually, technically. And
we
but
are.
there were leaders who could have changed it decades ago, and they didn't. Yeah.
I think a lot of it is the fear of losing control.
All of it is.
With the expansion that comes with the phenomenon, you start to realize that things flow in a certain way, and we can do what we can, and that isn't part of this control mechanism that is often put upon us by our governments or agencies or various religions. And I think that we're kind of expanded to be more accepting of what could happen next. And I don't think governments are designed for that.
Yeah. Dennis, you got it right. I actually feel personally that this was always a rising. Like the government, like, you know how in my book, it's this insane thing I had to do. I had to leave my life. I had to like abandon my entire my life. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what the government had to do. And it was too insane for them. Like the idea, like they were looking at it on paper and like, oh, aliens are telling us to do what? They're like, forget that. And they're like stock markets and, you know, oil and, you know, minerals. What are you talking about? And they, you know, their frame of reference. And aliens are like, if you don't. And I think I think it was a rising. I literally think it was something so insane for their mind. And exactly what you're saying, Dennis. And, you know, the human had a choice always in every case with all of this. You make a choice, and they gave us the choice, and they gave government the choice, and they gave individual humans choices. And yeah, Dennis, I think you kind of nailed it right there.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And now the movie maker in me is thinking, a plot where the government all goes underground and everybody else rises.
The survivors are the winners. The ones that they left behind are the ones that make it. The government ends up just underground and forgotten about.
The meek shall inherit the earth.
Yeah, and then there's a part of me that just wants to, when I watch the intro to these shows, it just wants to get on board that craft and just do a big sigh and go, oh God.
Yeah, well, this is a hard, you know, we've all been given really hard task. And you can't, you know, like you want to, you know, it would be, you can't just leave because you're going to end up someplace you don't like. So you've been given a task, you got to see it through because you made an agreement and you got to do it.
Yeah,
and it's hard.
With black curtains.
Yeah, I'm always reflecting because I have like quite a bit of past life awareness. I'm always reflecting on like, okay, so this is the life I planned. Okay, you're like, have I ever done anything like this before in another life? And you're sitting there analyzing my life from this over perspective because it's nuts. Everything I'm doing is nuts. It's all nuts. And
but look at the people who call themselves. Sorry,
sane?
Kim. Yeah. look at the people who call themselves sane.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if they're sane.
You're right. Yeah. Kim Kardashian, you're so sane. Yeah. Nothing against Kim Kardashian. Nothing against. No judgment.
I still remember World War II, and yet I wasn't born until 1952. And talk about insane.
Well, in this life.
Yeah, no, but I remember it. Absolutely remember it. And the older I get, the more I'm remembering it even more. And
oh yeah.
And it's really hard to look at it because it is another life that you had, and it's really traumatizing to let yourself go too far into it. I remember, I know stuff that happened. I know what my wife looked like. The more I get older, the more I see it, and I saw it a lot when I was a very young kid, and I had memories of being in battle and all this stuff, and I thought they were just dreams, and eventually they faded as I got older, like it happens with most kids who remember their past lives. But then when you get older, if you make it this far, and I'm very glad I have, it starts to come back, but big time. So it's a hard one, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, I know so many people who have World War II memories.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time.
Yeah, it's like millions and millions, right? So the statistics are pretty high. Some of us are gonna be in World War II. Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah, I have I have a couple past life memories, and one of them was I died in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I was so angry. I was so angry that I was killed for what I was. And that in this life I was born into a Christian family, and yet I converted to Judaism in my early 20s.
Wow. Interesting.
And I chose in this lifetime I chose my religion.
Wow.
Yeah,
same here, Judy. More about that later.
And I knew that from a child, because when I had those images in my mind as a child in dreams and things. And then I started, when I was like in middle school, reading about it and seeing the documentaries about it. It was like flashes of memories coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never miss a World War II movie, and I'm always engrossed in them. I can't, if I see a new one, I just have to watch it because I can touch that time. I can smell it. I can feel what the
Yeah.
clothes felt like. And I remember how I died. I didn't die during the war. I died after I came home because I couldn't handle it. No one could relate to me. They're all, in La La Land, and I just come back from something where I'd seen millions of people get killed, and my friends, and just this horrors, and I they couldn't relate to me, and it caused all kinds of problems, and it led to um, a death that should not have happened, but it happened.
My younger son had memories when he was about 3, 4 years old and just talking. And he started telling us that he had memories of being in a field, and he described the field. And then he was in like a hole, and he described this hole that was a long hole. And he described what he was
French.
wearing. It was a World War I British uniform, and my family's English.
Wow.
And yeah, and we asked him, it went on for a couple of years before he stopped talking about it. And I asked him if he had died in the war, and he said no, he went home after the war and lived there. And yeah, it's really interesting when they're that young to start coming up with details from history.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
We know that. Yeah.
Remember Band of Brothers, and they did a second one called The Pacific. I was fine with the European theater, but when I got to that one, and the guy who came home and his whole family turned on him and everything, that one was so emotional for me, and that's when I started getting the memory flashes. And I remember my late wife, we were watching it together, and I lost it, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, I said, "This happened to me." "Oh, you didn't live before. That's all rubbish, kind of thing." And I had to leave. I got really angry, and I was crying, and I had to leave, just go in the bathroom, shut the door till I got over it. That's really something just from watching a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, triggers. There's so many triggers in this life.
That was one. I know I could never watch that again. I could watch the first series, Band of Brothers, European theater, and all that, but not that. That was too close to home.
Yeah.
Well, on a happier note.
Yes,
Yeah,
what happened to those bunnies we were going to talk about?
Yeah, Susan, where's your bunnies?
Susan. A bunch of them had black eyes and abducted her. Oh, God. Okay, hamsters. Nobody's seen giant hamsters yet. Let's talk about them. And forget those lizard people.
No.
Well, I'm going to see some of the ladies tomorrow morning and our Zoom. And next week, we're probably going to have our regular monthly Zoom. So hopefully we'll see some of you guys at one of those.
That's the private one. And well, tomorrow, while you're doing that, I'm going to be in the back working on my latest Delta Wing jet project. So
yeah, if anybody wants to be involved in any of the Zoom, I'm going to put up the email for you.
Looking to send the email or
No, I'm putting it up right
send
now.
it?
It's our
We'll put it
online
here on the chat.
It's our online support group. You've been there before, right, Jeff?
I have, yeah.
I think you're already on the list, Jeff.
And Jim?
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good
There
group.
you go. That's our email.
It's completely private. Whatever happens in there stays in there.
I could put it.
And
Well,
the
I'll leave
public
it in
who's
chat.
watching now is going to be wondering, geez, I wonder what they talk about when they're in there by themselves. I mean, they haven't talked about that. It's so crazy now. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Melissa and I won't say anything about you, Dennis.
Don't tell them about the clowns. The creepy clowns. Come into our tent. Yeah. It went quiet.
I know.
Were we getting a telepathic thing?
Telepathic.
The last time that I had an experience with Jerry during the daytime, it's a funny story. He put his arm out as if he knew I was going to shake his wrist. And I'm shaking his wrist, and he's like, "Why are you doing that?" And I go, "Well, I have a friend that animates, Steve." and I want to know how your wrist works. So I'm wiggling his arm, and he's just flopping along, and I go, you guys have like ball joints in there. They're not like ours where we've got these limits. And it was so funny. He's like, well, you're worried about someone else's ability to depict us. That's fascinating. It was just a funny thing that happened. And I'm like, I don't know why that was important to me. It wasn't, what's the mission or anything like that. It was just like, well, how do your wrists work? It was such a benign thing. And he was just completely all right with that. And it was like 30 seconds. But
Mary has ball joints.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Your fingers can bend backwards like that far. It's
Oh,
amazing.
like that? Let me see.
No.
Can I do it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy. Anyway,
I don't think it's creepy.
they call it double jointed, I think, but mine don't do that. They go too much further. They just start crunching and snapping, and
So now you're saying to me, ooh. First, you guys say it to them. Now you're saying ooh to me.
yeah,
You're all right, Mary.
We didn't have Susan,
Yeah, she was in for a while. I don't know if she's still here.
Oh, well, she should have been in here. So yeah.
Well, there's Shelby. Nope.
I'm not in chat. I've been over here with.
Well, I try to. Well, it's my job. I already got in trouble once this month for not watching the chat, but they're all good people in there. I don't have to watch it.
Dope Nose. Hello, Dope Nose. I haven't seen you for a while, but then again, I haven't been. There's Ann and Shelby and wow, Emerging Me. That's a new one to me. Hello, Emerging Me.
That's Mrs. Shelgren. That's Melissa.
Oh,
okay.
I like that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for being in here tonight. So
Yeah.
and Chris Hooker, I know that name, and thank you for all the nice things you've said. Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, Groucho Trout? Yes. Hey.
Trout.
Okay. Fortilla. Yay. Okay. So I don't know if it's just hanging out with you guys or what, but I've got this feeling, and I'm just hoping, well, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? No?
The
Yeah,
sense of
the
oneness.
The feeling. Well, no, of course, the oneness, but just the feeling.
You're being watched.
Or something.
We're always being
They're-
watched.
They're coming. They're nearby.
I did
They-
get good news yesterday after going. After my cancer surgery, every 3 months I had to go and have a cystostomy. And if you don't know what that is, you don't
Want to know.
Okay. And so every 3 months I had to go through the tortures of the damned. And then it got moved after a year to every 6 months. And then I saw him yesterday and had the horrible procedure done. And he said, see you next year.
Oh,
So everything's fine in there. It's been 2 years and the cancer has not come back.
good.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That was a big deal. But on the other hand, I have been told, there I go with that doubt again. I've been told that they've been in there doing things to make sure, because as long as the doctor's already been in there, already done the surgery and stuff, if we go in there and do something, no one's going to know the difference. This is how I heard it. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay. So maybe that's what the routine maintenance was. I don't know, because it was right before I went and saw him. And he's like, oh, no, you're fine. See you in a year. So that was a huge relief. It really was a huge relief. And I'm feeling all weirded out today as a result. But I feel good, but I also feel really weird. And when I start feeling weird, that's when usually something's going to happen. It doesn't always. So I just wondered if anyone else was feeling that feeling.
Yeah.
Like I could be like Whitley and just stare at you all for a second and say,
Well, what that really
happened to
means,
you.
Steve, what that really means is as long as you guys keep watching, we'll be sticking around.
Yeah. And you reach the edge of the world.
Oh, dear. No, I
That
think
was
we're
pretty
probably in
good.
the middle. So good night, everybody.
Good
It
night.
was lovely hanging
so
out
much.
with you. Sorry,
You
I'm
guys
weird
make me
today,
happy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
but after yesterday, I'm sort of weirded out. So don't pay any attention to me. Just know that I love you, and I'm so
Yes.
You haven't been
Bless.
weird at all, Steve.
Love.
I'm so blessed to know you all and have
Yes.
you
Likewise.
I think they
All
love
right.
that we've all gotten
Thank
together.
you.
They like it that we talk and we're together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the Elder, my entity, as an orb at Contact in the Desert, and it was like I can sometimes connect and get telepathy directly from that UAP, and they loved Contact in the Desert. I felt it.
good.
I felt the whole thousands of people there were their children.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
they really do, like, it's affectionate, right? They really have an
Yeah.
affection for us as contactees, and that we do this and we share and we educate. Yeah, you got it. They love this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're going to do
Good.
more good stuff.
yeah,
I
definitely.
just gotta keep making the movies.
Yeah,
And
Aw.
thank you, Alchemist. Thank you so much.
Ah,
Snuck that in
I
there.
gotta do
right
that.
at the end.
no,
Yeah, I got it
beautiful.
in there. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Alchemist.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right, you guys.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Whoa.
Good
Awesome.
night.
God, this is hard to do. Good night.
Good night.